What's up, guys? Coach O'Neal here, officer coordinator here at Schlegel High School, located in Kansas City, Kansas. Hope you guys had a great holiday break. Happy New Year's to all you coaches, man. Obviously, it's really time for us to get into our off-season grind now, preparing for this upcoming season, going into the second semester, leading into the summertime. So today, today's video is going to be focused on the power concept and the variations you can use within this concept, the different ways you can use in the running game, just off these blocking principles. Just for a little background on myself, I consider myself a gap scheme guy. But also a zone guy. This year, I'm kind of drifting away from the zone scheme and kind of leading more towards a lot more, at least 95 to 98% more gap scheme concepts. The reason why I want to do that, because I personally feel that when it comes to teaching our athletes here at Schlegel, by going into a more gap scheme concept, teaching these guys the game will be a lot more easier, a lot more simpler, just because the rule settings pretty much do not change for the base offense, or the base concept scheme, the base blocking scheme for power, which also leads into countering everything else. When it comes to me, I like to throw out that, I'm one of those guys, man. I like to play fast. I want my guys to play fast. So obviously here, I'll be giving you the basics of all the power concept. Just a background on that, I personally feel like when you're doing these concepts, or you're teaching your kids these play concepts and anything like that, when it comes to the fashion of tagging things to the offense or tagging things to the run game, here at Schlegel, I really believe that if you have to tag more than two concepts, that's a whole new concept, that's a whole new play, and that's a lot more teaching that you have to do with that play, and it drifts off from the importance of what you're literally doing with, for example, the power scheme. So today, like I said, I'm going to go over the power variations of the power scheme. So obviously, to start off, guys, like I stated before, I'm a two-back system guy. I'm very in love with the H-back. Just off the fact that you're very versatile with this guy, man. You can use the H-back anywhere on the field. This is kind of like my base offense here. So this is what I'm going to be giving you guys the information off of. So to start, obviously, we understand the principles of power concept do not change. This is your groundwork when it comes to football, especially with the run game. So we're going to start from the play side to the back side as far as line play. And then I'll get into RPO tags. I'll get into some other variations of runs that you can use with the power scheme. All right. So generally, obviously, we're going against a four front scheme. All right. Going through a fourth front. You can say we have two head-up twos over the guards. We have 2-5 techniques on our defensive ends. All right, where our defensive ends play. So now, getting down to the basics. Now, obviously, to start off, you want to teach your guys this concept just because it helps. And like I said before, if you need to change tags, or if you need to change things in essence to more, if you have to change things where it goes more than two tags, you're creating a whole new play. So you want to, in the essence of obviously nowadays, everybody wants to play fast. Everybody wants an offense that's on the go, moving, want to be tempo offense. But a lot of guys do not understand exactly what tempo offense is. Tempo offense doesn't mean that you're constantly on the go, no huddle. Tempo is just basically mean you're being able to control, all right, if you hear me, you're being able to control the speed of the offensive game, all right? So that means you can go no huddle, fast pace, or you can slow it down and go into a huddle, calling play from the sideline. That all is in the concept of tempo game, all right? So I don't want, a lot of coaches think, especially young coaches, man, when these guys hear, well, we run a fast-paced tempo offense, they thinking you're automatically on the go, all right? And it's not that. You're just being able to control the speed of the offense and the game situation. So like I said, now leading into the power concept. So obviously on our play side, all right, our play side tackle, you want him to down block the B gap, all right? Down block the play side B gap to backside backer, all right? That's what you want him to do. That's your play side tackle. Your guard, all right? He's the same concept. He's the same way. We're down blocking. But if you're covered, obviously in this essence, the nose is covering him. We're going to double, all right? So these guys are going to double to this guy, all right, to that backside backer. They're going to work that double team to him, All right. Your center's predominantly rule is down block. All right. This is the beautiful thing about the center. That's all he's doing, unless you have other tags. Like I said, if you have other tags that maneuver him other ways, that's a different scenario. But for the most part, your center, that's his responsibility. We don't want any A gap flow. All right. We don't want anything to come through the A gap because our guard is the pulling guard. All right. Our backside guard is pulling. Now, when our backside guard pulls, he's pulling for that play side inside backer. Now, when it comes to teaching how your guys pull, that's on the coach's terminology of their offense. Some guys like to do the bucket step. Some guys, there's a lot of variations you can teach your guys to pull to get to a cleaner block, just because if stuff gets muddy here, especially young linemen, stuff getting muddy, their eyes end up drifting away from who's their blocking assignment, and then you can potentially have a busted play. So it's important line play is important on this, guys. You want to be able to teach your guys exactly what to do in a situation, and say if something was to go wrong. All right. So like I said before, say somehow that front side, that play side gets cluttered and your guard's pulling, and because that clutter there, he gets lost and misses his guy. Well, if you teach him the proper steps as far as pulling, you won't have this issue. All right. So that's just a little side bucket on that. Now, your backside tackle, his responsibility is gap seal hinge. All right. A lot of coaches like to say gap seal hinge. Technically, you're just basically telling him, I do not want anybody to come through that backside B gap. All right. Because if they flow through that backside B gap, they can make a play. All right. They can get the running back in the backfield. Hell, they can potentially sack the quarterback. It all determines. So generally, you tell him gap seal hinge. But most importantly, obviously, if he has an end here, that's his guy. All right. So the guy, if the end spills off the edge, then that's his guy. I mean, obviously he's not going through the gap, but that's his responsibility. So gap seal hinge, just protecting that B gap to the backside. All right. Now, this is your basic power concept right here. Right. This is the basic power play. This is how they run the power play. This is how everybody runs the power play, honestly. So now we get into the variations of the power play. Now, for starters, I want to start off with RPOs just because they're so simple. In this formation, the way I do my RPOs, I'm just going to give you guys one that I do. Now, obviously, we got spot on the play side. Now, here's the deal. Ooh, excuse me. Before I forget, H-back. H-back is responsible for C-gap. I looked at the guy and forgot to mention that. Your H-back is responsible for C-gap threat. All right. So obviously, if anything spills there, he's trying to kick out that guy in the C-gap. Now, let's say you have probably an end who's not playing the 5. He's probably playing a 4-eye. He's playing that B-gap strong. He's inside of that B-gap, or you potentially tell by his technique that he's probably going to attack that B-gap. There's tags to adjust to that. I'm not getting into that because that's digging deep into my playbook, and I'm not going to give you guys some gems. All right. So just remember. All right. So this is the concept: play side tackle, B gap threat to backside backer, play side guard. All right. You have A gap, but if you're covered, obviously you guys are going to double to that backside backer versus this front. Your center always down blocks. All right. He's always down blocking to that backside A gap. No flow. Your guard is pulling for your play side inside backer. And then your backside tackle, he's gap seal hinging, making sure there's no B gap flow, making sure nobody can get into that B gap, potentially, create chaos in the backfield. So he's responsible for this area. And then lastly, your H-back, he's kicking out that defensive end, ensuring that we can create that hole. So if everybody does their job right, you want this to be a B gap play. All right. It can bounce anywhere. It can go C gap. It all depends on how the defense aligns to your offensive formation and what they teach those guys. But generally, you want this to hit B gap, all right? If it all goes well, we're winning on the board like so, this is a house call. I mean, you generally will have one guy to beat if we're doing straight up blocking. But since we have RPO here, now I'm going to dive into the RPO part. Now, with the RPO, and this is one of my RPOs, I'm not going to give you guys all of them, but just because this is so simple, this helps. So, obviously, we're running the RPO. We're reading the end. Generally, when guys do reads or RPO reads, they generally tell the quarterback to read 2 guys. So either you're going to read the end. This is obviously there's different types of RPOs, but generally some guys tell them to read the end, to tell them to pull the ball, and then you read that forced defender to tell you to throw the ball to your triple option guy, which generally is your receiver. With me, I eliminate the reading the end concept, obviously, because we're running the regular power concept here. But where I'm telling my quarterback to read, this guy. All right. You want him to read that slot defender. The reason why you want to read that slot defender. Let's say we're in the game and we're gashing them hard on the power play. What's potentially going to happen? Two things are going to happen. This guy is going to start to cheat. This guy's going to start to cheat, all right? Potentially, he'll start to cheat up to the line so he can help for extra run support. They might roll the safety down or roll him over the slot defender and probably bring that safety a little bit closer to the middle of the field. But for the most part, this guy is the guy we're going to read off of. Now, what I tell my quarterbacks is if he plays inside of that slot defender, like so say, let me erase this. So let's say he's playing inside of that slot defender, all right? I'm giving my quarterback the green light to throw this ball. He has inside leverage on the slot receiver, has inside leverage on this defender. So if he's playing inside, that means his eyes should be in that backfield. I mean, his defensive coach told him, all right, obviously they're gashing us on the run game. I want you to keep your eyes on that backfield because we might send you. So with him doing that, and obviously high school kids, man, if they get that green light to go, they can't hold their water, man. Those kids are going to start cheating up. They're going to start doing the little shimmy dance moves to get to the line of scrimmage, and then they're coming. Now, in essence of this, if this was to happen, this is why we're reading him. We have 2-on-1 here, all right? So with the quarterback reading that guy, if he sees the quarterback ball, he extends the ball out for the power play. With us being in this formation, obviously, and the end's getting kicked out, no one thinks nobody's getting red. It's just going to be a regular power concept. So with him, we tell your quarterback to extend the ball and make sure that he puts it in the running back's breadbasket, all right, with his eyes locked on him. If he shows or if he even just steps up a little bit, throw the ball, all right? You have the green light, throw the ball. Another deal that I would say, and generally this is what I advise you coaches to teach your guys, or at least go over this when you do practice. If you ever do screen play from receiver play or screens in general, RPOs in general, teach your receivers how to catch the ball and get upfield. From experience here last year, we had a few guys, some plays, man, the guys get a screen call, get a screen play or whatever, wide receiver wise, catch the ball. And generally, I don't know why, but generally they want to go from here all the way across field to try to make something happen when all you have to do is plant your foot, get north and south. All right, so I think it's adamant as a coach. If you're an RPO guy, if you're a screen guy, it's important that you pretty much make sure that you teach your guys to get north and south. If they're shifty kids, if they're one of those kids who like to make things happen in space, teach them to make moves going upfield. All right. We all watch this on a collegiate level, on the NFL level, any level of football, where you see your professional guys, when they catch the pass, they're getting upfield first. They make moves upfield. So as coaches, especially on the high school level, it is important. It is real important to freaking make sure that we teach our guys to get upfield when they catch the ball. Because once you get upfield, you have guys flowing that way anyway. It's just pretty much two guys that can stop you from making this play or making a big play. The safety's going to roll, and he has to help with that area there, and then your corner obviously has to defeat that block to get to you. But it's 2-on-2 basically because he's running out of the play. All right. So this is one of the RPOs I run in my offense, man, that I feel is very successful. And then, like I said, the kicker, and we will throw a lot of defensive coaches off on a high school level, is instead of generally when you see guys run triple option, which really RPOs is just triple option, guys. All right. If we don't know that now, that's what it is. All right. RPOs is just triple option. So we're teaching our guys triple option game. So instead of doing the traditional triple option deal where you teach your kid to read the end man on the line of scrimmage and then go to the force player, we're scratching the end man on the line of scrimmage and we're eyes on this guy. So now if we hand off the ball, there's no mistakes. All right. He hands off the ball, we're running power. If he pulls the ball, let's say he makes a mistake and accidentally pulls the ball, and this guy, instead of running for run support, he's running to the spot route. Well, we're teaching our quarterback as well to run to the defender. All right. So if you pull the ball, you want to attack that defender's outside shoulder. Because with him going this way and us attacking that outside shoulder, this is what happens. All right. So by attacking that outside shoulder, if he commits there, plant your foot, get north and south. Like I said, the only guy that could generally probably make this play, or two guys that can make this play, depending on what their eyes, if they have solidified, solid eyes, will be your end and your inside play side inside backer. And that's the only reason, because possibly your pulling guard probably missed that backer, or he's just a great defender. He's a great athlete, and he can read the defense or read the offense. Excuse me. He can read the field and notice that something's not right, and he can adjust on the fly. Those generally are your great athletes. So, in that essence, I mean, you just have to make adjustments off of this call in order to fix that problem. But in essence, right here, we're winning on the board. So our guys made their blocking assignments. The nickel took the spot route. Quarterback's looking there. Oh, it's not there. Plant your foot. Do what you can. All right. Easy concept. Easy to fly with. So that's the RPO tag to the power game. Like I said, I'm only going to give you guys that one RPO because I'm not opening my playbook for you. So another deal you can use with the power concept. This is something that I've learned from a collegiate coach that I felt is a very effective way, and it eliminates extra teaching time. If you're obviously I'm a RPO guy or triple option guy. Say I want to run speed option. Say I'm a guy who wants to run a quick speed option to attack that play side edge. I don't have to change anything here. All right. I know I eliminated this. I really don't have to change. Nothing changes out of this if I'm running a speed option concept. The reason why I say that, the guy we're going to read off the speed option is that defensive end. Everyone else is going through their regular blocking assignments on the power concepts. So this guy is who we're going to put in the bind. Now, I know what you guys are going to say. Well, if you run speed option that way, coach, you still have that force defender there that can disrupt the play. Well, let me break it down to you here. And this is how we get extra run blockers on the play side. So obviously with speed option, I'm telling my receivers, you got most dangerous guy. All right. So you're blocking the most dangerous man who's head up you. Obviously at the slot, we got the nickel Sam, and obviously at the flanker. Obviously at the split, we got the nickel Sam. Obviously at the flanker, we got the corner. All right. So this is how it gets funky. Now, when we're running the speed option, I tell my H-back, you're basically the lead guy. All right. You're the lead guy of this, and you're taking the most dangerous threat off the play side edge. All right. So you have no block, you have no key assignment on a key guy, specific guy. You just have most dangerous. That could be anybody. That could be this flowing linebacker. That could be that roll down safety. If he sees running, he's flying down to the ball. That's your guy. If that linebacker sees the action going on and he flows to the pitch man, that could be your guy. All right. So I tell my H-back, you have most dangerous defender off the edge. Now with this end, we're reading the end and we're going to pitch off the end. All right. So obviously on anything, I tell my quarterbacks, all right, you want to attack the outside shoulder of that defender. All right. By attacking the outside shoulder, just draw it up there. By attacking the outside shoulder of that defender, he has to classify where he's going. All right. He has to classify where he's going. Either he's going to commit to you as the quarterback and force you to pitch the ball, or he's going to commit to the pitch man and force the quarterback to plant his foot. So what I'm saying by that, let's say he steps outside. He plays outside. He doesn't attack the B gap. He doesn't squeeze down with that tackle who's obviously down blocking that nose. He doesn't squeeze. He just takes outside gap. He sees running back. He's going to take edge, and he's committed to going to that running back. All right, he's committed to take that guy. Well, if he does that, here's the beautiful play of the power concept out of speed option with the speed option. If he takes that, quarterback easily plants his foot, gets north and south. There's your power concept. Now your quarterback is running power. All right. He's running power. He has the pulling guard. Like I said here, we're winning on the board. So if he does this concept here, the guard gets to the guy in time that you say the linebacker eyes, he don't trust his eyes too much. So he's just sitting there just playing football. He just stepping in grass, basically. So our guard gives our guard time to pull and get him. Well, if that end overplays and takes that pitch man, quarterback plants his foot, you still have a wall now. You still created that same wall that you would create if you had your H-back kicking out. Now, let's say he doesn't commit to the running back and he squeezes, if he was taught correctly by the defensive coach, if he squeezes that B gap. So if he squeezes that B gap and try to wash that tackle down to kind of disrupt that down block, well, now that's an easy pitch for the quarterback. And with that easy pitch, he pitches the ball. You have two-man block and you have a lead blocker here that can either potentially get that safety or take that outside linebacker. So you would potentially get 5+ yards off this play. It's a perimeter play. We're trying to attack the edge fast. It's not, I don't want to classify it as a true speed option. Generally, like I like to tell guys, is it's an extended toss play. All right, it's an extended toss play. Excuse me. So you're just attacking the edge hard and fast, and if they commit to you, toss it to the running back and let him get to that edge on his speed and be an athlete. All right. So this gives us numbers to block on the play side. It also allows us to not have to teach extra things because we're still maintaining the power concept. All right. And you're only changing one guy's assignment, which would be the H-back. He goes from kicking out the C-gap threat to pretty much kicking out or sealing inside most dangerous man off the play side edge. So that's the only concept that changed. That's the only principle that changed on the power concept is we're just not kicking out that end or that C-gap threat. We're letting him play football and let him make a mistake for himself. All right. So this is another way you can do this. Now, obviously, here's another concept. Same principles as the speed option, if you want to say. Same concept of using the power game. But now we're running a QB sweep read. Now, I'm pretty sure a lot of coaches, at least are well-seasoned coaches, if you want to put it that way. A lot of these coaches already know about the power concept, all right, the QB sweep read, all right? So basically, you want to tell your running back you want his heels at the quarterback's toes, all right? So I'm lining up in my traditional spot, behind the guard. My heels is at the quarterback toes. So now that means when I turn to get to receive the ball from the quarterback or to pretty much go through the read play, it's not a more difficult path. Like I can easily just turn to the sideline and create that breadbasket and let my quarterback do his job and read his key and determine if he's going to hand it off or pull it. So like I said, here your running back heels is at the QB toes. All right, he's literally turning and running to the sideline. All right. Well, generally I like to use, and I got this from my college coach when I played in college as a running back. He coached Troth, Missouri Valley College. What he used to teach me with this, he called it a rock step. And the rock step is basically you're here, say I'm my heels at the quarterback's toes, and I'm just rocking, or I don't know how he made the turn, but it works. But I just hop and turn facing the sideline, and now I'm just moving. All right. So I don't have to do no extra step. Or I don't have to I'm not in an offset where I have to freaking make my J-path step and then turn. No, I'm already heels and toes. I make my rock step, attack the line of scrimmage, attack the edge, and just go from there. So, like I said, this is a traditional QB power read. And here's the thing. We're still reading that defensive end. So it's the same concept as running speed option out of power. The only difference is now our aiming point on where we could potentially go to the ball kind of changes, but really doesn't. All right. So obviously your running back, if you really look at it, your running back is still a pitch guy. He receiving the handoff, and your quarterback is still running that power concept. So in essence, what you want to do when you're running this, all right. So your linebacker, your H-back is still leading off the play side edge for most dangerous man. Your quarterback is taking what we call shuffle steps. All right. So he's going to take 2 shuffle steps, reading that defensive end. So if he's here, if it's your quarterback, ball snap, I'm taking 2 shuffle steps, so 2 hop steps, if you want to call it. Whatever terminology you like to use, it works. If it works for your kids, that works. But you want to take 2 shuffle steps, 1, 2, reading that end. Now, by doing that 2 shuffle steps, you should end up, you want your quarterback to at least end up right behind where the guard is. And what that's doing by having your running back run to that perimeter, running to the sideline, this also forces your defensive end to choose on where he's going with the ball. So once again, if he squeezes that play side B gap, the play side B gap, I'm handing the ball off to my running back, let him use his athleticism and speed to get to the edge. If he takes the running back, your B gap is open. All right. And obviously in the perfect world, our guard pull and gets that inside linebacker, quarterback take his shuffle steps. He sees that the end is taking the running back, tuck the ball, get upfield. And now with this, he doesn't have to run at an angle attacking the outside shoulder end. It's there. If that end commits to the running back, your gap is right there. All the quarterback has to do is tuck that ball and get upfield and get what he can. All right. So this is generally, like I said, every seasoned coach already know about the QB sweep read, but this is also just another way of using the power concept in your offense and just the versatility of this principles of this scheme. Last thing that I want to point out, and generally, this is easier if you're running out of 10 personnel. All right. So this will be a good way to run. Say you guys just gashing. All right. So your linemen are just kicking ass. Let me fix this real fast. So say your lineman is just dominating on the field right now. All right. Linemen are just, your running game is just can't be stopped, or your quarterback is just having a day. All right. That's generally what I like to say, having a day, because when my kids are balling or it's out there just hey, it's just we're having a day, man. If my kids out there balling, that means we're having a day right now. So that's usually why. If you hear me say having a day, somebody's doing something good out there. So, like I said, in the concept of this, if we're running out of a 10 personnel, all right, we're out of 10 personnel. Let's say we're in a doubles concept, and this is actually my doubles formation. All right, obviously backside, I'm in a true twins look, if you want to call it, and then on the play side, obviously my split is aligned inside of the line of the slot line, if you want to call it that, and then I have my flanker outside, just because I like to motion my Z and stuff like that. But anyway, if we're running out of 10 personnel and we have a quarterback who's a mobile QB, or he just may be a kid who has size on him, who can run between tackles and he can deliver some punishment. I'm not going to say take punishment because I tell my runners who have the ball, if you deliver the blow to the defender before he gets to you, he ain't going to want to tackle you. That's just what it is. If I'm hitting you and I'm on offense, that opens a lot of defensive guys' eyes, like, oh, it's going to be a ball game. So generally, if you're coaches, like I said, another coaching point, man, anybody who run the ball, it don't matter if it's quarterback, running back, receivers, it doesn't matter. Whoever runs the ball, always teach them to attack the defender. All right, always teach those guys to hit the defender before they hit them, because when they do that, like I said, your defenders won't know what to do. They'll kind of catch them off guard because I just got an offensive guy just ran through me at the end. He just finished the play. It's not even running through the kid, but finishing the run. That's why I generally tell my guys. I told my guys this, my running backs when I coach college. I've taught all my running backs this. Wherever every coaching staff I've joined and every school I've coached at. When I have runners, I tell them, I want you to finish the run. And finish the run, that means you're looking for contact. All right. And this is for undersized backs as well, man. I coached a running back at Missouri Valley. Running back was, I want to say, about 5'5", roughly 155, 160, give or take, soaking wet. But the principle didn't change for him as well. If you're a running back, you finish the run. Finish the run means finding that last defender who can make that play, dropping your shoulder and letting him feel that you're a real ball carrier, right? And generally, any guy with that type of size can do that, and they will open up anybody's eyes on the defensive side of the ball because they won't be prepared for that. So, anyway, when it comes to the 10 personnel, this is the last thing I'm going to go over, all right? When it comes to the 10 personnel and you still want to run the power concept, now, obviously, my seasoned coaches already understand what's exactly going to happen next. Who's going to block that end? And that will be your defensive end right here. Your running back, excuse me. So your running back will be the guy who's kicking out that C-gap threat. He's kicking out the C-gap threat. And now your quarterback is just like a direct snap, basically, to your running back. All right, like I said, if you have a stud who's a stud at QB who can run the ball as well as throw it, having QB run series in your offense gives you an extra blocker in the backfield for your running back. And it just makes your offense more potent because now they have to worry about all 11 guys on the field and not just your receivers and your running backs, because the quarterback is probably not mobile. Even if you don't have a mobile quarterback, this is a great fit to use. Say you're in the red zone or you're in the money zone, I call it, between that end zone and 5 yards away from the end zone. I call it the money zone. So let's say you're in the money zone. And like I said, you don't have to have a freaking Michael Vick, Cam Newton type kid. You just have a kid who can protect the ball when he's running. Let him get in there, get his nose in there and try to get you a touchdown. These are good red zone and money zone plays right here. QB runs are all good plays to run in the red zone because you have extra blockers on the play side, extra numbers, and you potentially make something happen if your quarterback's a true ball carrier. All right, so this is another way you can do it. I'm just going to throw this wrinkle out. If you want to get fancy with it.
Mr. O'Neill, if you're in the building, please call 7516. O'Neill, if you're in the building, please call 7516.
Okay. So, like I said, anyway, if just to add another wrinkle, if you want to just kind of confuse the defense and make you think that you're probably running a jet sweep. You can add emotion to it and kind of confuse the guys, try to get movement out of those backers and those safety. Generally, through this situation, your safety is going to rotate and your rover is going to roll down. And if the rover rolls down, it means your nickel's coming off the edge to take away that jet. If they don't do that, you got them beat on the jet option. You can still run the QB sweep with the jet motion. It all depends on you. So this is just the versatility of the offense, man. This is the versatility of how you can run the power scheme and how you can use it in the run game as well with RPOs. As always, coaches, if you have any input with this or you have any of your own ideas, man, you can always reach me on Twitter, Coach O223. I'm always on there talking ball, man. If you have, like I said, any ideas or anything to add on to this, just hit me up on there, man. And I'm always open to having guys send me their own material, and I'll post it on my channel just because I want to advance the game of football. So this is my spiel. Hope you guys have a great second semester. Hope you guys have a great year preparing for the 2020 season. And just good luck to you guys on your off-season work.